I have a huge stack of substrates I need to prep today, so I thought I might as well create a video showing my process on a variety of them. I've selected a range of different surfaces, including timber, MDF, glass tile, an object I only want to paint part of, and a gallery-wrapped canvas. Taping off the backs ensures you can achieve a professional-looking, clean underside to your artwork, as well as making it easier to get a neat finish when you use resin to seal. I'll demonstrate that in another video. The tools I'll be using today are a sharp blade, scissors, masking tape, and some plastic. I use a bin bag. For surfaces such as glass or ceramic, give them a spray with 99% isopropyl alcohol and a good wipe over all sides to be painted. The surface will be damp for a little afterwards, so just put aside for a few minutes. It will dry off quickly. When taping a canvas, I only tape the underside. That is enough to give a clean finish. If you don't want paint or resin on the sides and will finish them afterwards, you can tape the sides instead. Just ensure you have a really straight line where it meets the top. Make sure you burnish the tape down well to prevent paint leaking under the edge. I rub really hard with my fingers or hand, but you can use a spoon or spatula. I find MDF doesn't need any prep such as priming or undercoat. The paint doesn't sink in, and as this is a thick piece, it won't warp. If it were thinner, less than 6 mm, I would prime it first to prevent it warping from the moisture of the paint. I use the sharp blade on this rather than scissors because I can cut it exactly where I want and use a bit of pressure on the base, which you can't do on canvas. You could just leave it taped like this if you aren't too fussed about the underside being clean, or you are planning to put something over it, a coat of paint or some cork backing. As I'm making a wall plaque with this, I will tape the back fully. As you can see, in those few minutes, the tile is now fully dry, and I will tape this off the same way as the previous piece. I will be adding cork backing to this to create coasters, but I find when I use resin on these smaller pieces, I can sometimes get it in places on the back as well, as I lift them up to coat them. Having tape all over keeps the surface level and makes cleanup easier later. So for this piece, my plan is to pour over the hearts but leave the stand and base white. So I will tape all the parts I don't want to get paint on. I wrap the tape all around the pole, pressing it down as I go. Then when it's fully covered, press it in really firmly so no paint can get in. Now I completely cover the base, making sure there are no gaps and that the tape is well burnished down all over. The charcuterie board is the most complicated. Some of them have oils or waxes on the surface which can prevent the tape sticking. I know this one doesn't, but if you are unsure, test by sticking a piece of tape on your board and see if it will stick down firmly. If not, you can clean the area you'll need to tape with some isopropyl alcohol to try and remove the oil/grease buildup. Because I am only intending to pour on the top part of the board, and I would also like to keep the wrapping on the handle, I will be covering the rest of the board with the plastic, so I don't have to put tape over the entire thing. It's easier this way, and takes away the stress of having to try not to drip paint or resin on the parts you want to keep clear. So put the board into the bag, then cut off from the top, down to a little below where you want the paint and resin to finish. Cut across the front and around the sides. Making sure the front surface is flat and relatively straight, place a line of tape across the edge of the plastic, securing it down onto the timber. Then place 2 more lines slightly overlapping the previous one, as shown. Now turn the board over, pulling the excess plastic taut at the top and cutting off the extra. Smooth and flatten the plastic across the back of the board and tape down the edges to secure them in place. Then set about ensuring the entire back surface is fully covered. Don't forget to make sure that the sides are well taped down as well. You want to make sure there are no gaps, know where the paint or resin can sneak under the plastic. Next, I need to cover the wrapped part of the handle. To do this, I cut a rectangular strip from the excess plastic and wrap it around the part I want to cover, making sure to hold it tight and overlap it. Then tape down each edge and as you need to around the middle. The reason I don't just apply tape to the entire handle is that it can leave a bit of sticky residue which is hard to remove from this surface. Turn the board back over and make sure that all the bits that need covering are covered and that you have burnished the tape down well. And that's it. A bit fiddly, but well worth it. I would shout out to the lady who posted a video on the private Shelley Art Facebook group about 3 years ago showing how to do this. It's far easier and more effective than what I used to do, but I can't remember her name. Anyway, she was the queen of pouring on charcuterie boards back then, so hats off to you, wonderful lady. Sorry I forgot your name. Thanks so much for joining me today. Hope you got something new out of my video. Please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more fluid art videos, and click here or here to watch more.